Okay, guys, it's just after 11. Ian's getting signed. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, everybody, I really appreciate you coming. This is the kickoff of the year 2026. We've made a few changes this year, so anybody that wants an agenda, there is an agenda up here. If you want to come up and grab an agenda, please do. There's extra maps up here for our park. You're definitely going to want to make sure you have a map because you're going to want to know the addresses in the job sites you're working on. And if you could X off on the list your company that you were here and present, that would be a great help as well, just so we know for future how many people are showing up. So anybody that hasn't gotten anything, or if you need one more thing, food, chips, subs, cookies, all back there, drink back there. So grab what you need. Anybody that, some of you guys aren't as deep into it as far as with building permits and stuff. I'm going to try to do the non-building permit stuff up front and get rid of that so that if any of you guys that have to leave can leave. Anybody that wants building permits, if it's a specific to one job that you have, I would appreciate so that people can get back out and make money on their job sites, that you save some of those and come up to me separately afterwards and talk to me about that, unless you think it's something that could be major for the entire group. So we're going to try to give you some information and where to find information so that hopefully we can cut down on the amount of time that you guys have to spend doing clerical and technical stuff. We're going to try and make that a little bit easier for everybody here. So again, appreciate everybody showing up and coming to get the lowdown. So in doing through that, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, just for a couple of you guys, and is the Sandy Pine staff. So I'm Jim. I'm pretty much the guy that's here year-round with some spotted vacations throughout the winter, but I'm here all the time. I live in the condos now, so that I'm very close by. If you need something done, you need some type of emergency service or work, roofing, air conditioning's out, especially if it's a 90-degree summer weekend and we have to do an emergency service, we will do that type of stuff for you HVAC guys, you tree guys, you roof guys. There's certain things that need emergencies, and we're here for you guys, even though the normal time frame is going to be more like 5 to 7 days. We're trying to keep that into 3 days, 72 hours, but we're here all the time. So my helper this year, Steve, is coming back right after the park opens on April 15th. He'll actually be here the following Monday, which I believe is the 18th, and he's going to work all the way through the end of September. So for pretty much the whole season, Steve will be here assisting me. Cindy's going to be in the office. She's going to be here, I believe, May 11th and go till about September 15th. Our hours at the office this year, at this point for sure, are going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Saturdays, once the holiday starts, and it might start the week before the holiday. We're going to see how busy the park is and weather, but at least from holiday to holiday is going to be Saturdays from 8 a.m. till noon. For any of you that don't know, our office is over at the right next to the restaurant and park and garden, so next to the maintenance team and kitty corner from the admin office. All of the same documents are going to be able to be gotten from the admin office, and all of our documents are out on a kiosk outside of our office 24/7. So anyone can fill a PCI permit out, a Sandy Pines permit. Anybody can fill that out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On the left-hand side is where you're going to pick up your permits. The left-hand lower box, there's a thing on there. Pick up your permits to put in the window right there. And then you're going to be able to pick up the PCI and the blank forms on the 3 boxes around that one. And then you turn them back in. The upper box on the right is where you're going to turn them back in. If you have checks or cash with anything, that'll go in the lock box. We really prefer that if you're going to do cash, that you go to security and pay for it, the security office, or you go to admin. Because of the documentation, I prefer it being those. I really don't want cash in that lockbox, but if you absolutely have to, just let me know that you've done it so I can get there right away in the morning and get that out. But we prefer you go to the security office and the admin with cash. Checks are perfectly fine there. Again, Steve and Cindy will be here helping this year, and that'll be great. I would like to introduce you guys to Ian. So Ian has about 10 different jobs in our park. and he's the guy who's actually videotaping this. This is being live streamed, so people can be looking online. This also is going to be done as a recorded video, so anybody can pull this up in the future. Ian is right here, and the beauty with Ian is we are seeing that when you fill out this contractor list right here, that some of you are getting calls, but there's a lot of people on here, and we have a lot of different age groups of people. Some people don't feel like going down the whole list and looking at it. We're finding that anyone that wants to advertise in our footprints does a much better job, gets a lot more calls. So this is always an advisable thing. Ian will share with you a little bit of and that's the website I have up right now. But Ian will share a little bit about that for you guys.
Yeah, so as Jim said, my name is Ian. I do marketing and communications here at the park. So yeah, we've got a footprints. We've got a couple of other things. I've got it on the website. I usually print it out, but I kind of print out a lot of them usually. So I kind of kept it digital this year. All of the information for all of our marketing channels, we've got 5 or 6 different opportunities on there. We've got print opportunities, digital opportunities, social media, all that fun stuff. To keep it easy this year, I just have my card up front here, so if you guys are interested at all, I'll leave my card up front here with Jim. Shoot me over an email. I can shoot you this packet digitally. And then, yeah, I know he mentioned to a few of you guys, if you need any help making a design, you know, figuring out kind of what's worked for other people, feel free to pick my brain on that. So, yeah, that's it for me. If you guys have any questions, like I said, if you want to do any sort of advertising, feel free to shoot me over an email. I'm going to leave some cards up here, and that's it. I won't take too much more time.
Great. Hey, thanks, Ian. So, yeah, and as you can see, this is online when you go down to our connections, but you can see some of the pricing here, the different footprints. You can see the opportunities of what the different size ads look like. We also have park poster boards all around the park. Those are usually at the CCs. And then, of course, we have the weekend flyers. Those are put at every gate. People grab those, and Ian has the SKU mark there that they can hit with their phone and all that stuff. I have to figure that out with my grandchildren. But anyway, so that's just a lot of digital stuff. When people have you right there in their face on this type of print or digital, they're going to much more likely call you when they're ready for a service. And if you do something a little more consistently, my company and in advertising, it's usually that third touch where they've seen you a third different time that the people feel comfortable calling you, that you're a legitimate business. So just something to help you guys and to work with the park to come back and get more business. So it's great for you guys to do. As you know, we have a spring cleanup that has to be done by June 10th. We're going to start sending warnings out, like for power washing for the lots, for cleaning up the leaves, for getting the trees out of your gutters that have been growing there for the last year and a half. Things like that have to be done by June 10th. So some of those advertisers might want to be in the April and May footprints to get that out there to help these members pick that up. At June 10th, it's a $100 fine at this point, and then if they don't pick it up, the fine increases. And when somebody can go out and power wash for $130, $150, or pick up a lot and blow some leaves and pick it up for that price, why pay a fine and not just pay that fee and get it all picked up and not have to worry about it? So take advantage of that. Ian's can take care of you. And again, once you're in front of somebody, it's going to go a lot better. The other thing is, if we can get a round of applause, Janelle got all of our food here today. So thank you, Janelle. Appreciate it. So she helped set all these up and get all this food. As you can tell, I won't put a plug in for her webcam and all that stuff, but we're switching over, as you can see, from some deep fried chips to some baked chips. And she's really a health person, so she's trying to watch us and take care of us. So thank you, Janelle. Appreciate all your help. 2026 expectations. Well, actually, before we go through that, we just talked about the park. We have Kirk and we have Jared here from PCI in the back corner right there waving their hand. Especially you contractors that need permits, that's the door office. All of their stuff can be done digitally. And just a couple of things about PCI. PCI will not approve them. The park is the zoning permit. We have to sign every permit. If you drop it off to them, they will not accept it. I have to sign off, our park has to sign off before they will accept it to make sure that it's legal and can go in this for the zoning. So you always have to come to the park and put all your paperwork on the park. The checks that are made on those permits have to be in the township name. We deal with Monterey and we deal with Salem. 90% is Salem, a few of the outline areas in phase 3, and the outline area in phase 2 is going to be Monterey, but those checks and the paperwork in the township or the jurisdiction on PCI must say those. I'll go a little bit more in depth of the permits later, but I just want to make sure that you're aware of what's got to happen on those permits. So again, that's Kirk, and Kirk is the main guy in the office. He's got a lot of helpers. I'm sorry, Kirk is the owner. Jared is the main guy in the office over in Door. Their gals in there and their people are very, very good. You can, as long as you filled the permit out with us, you can move forward if we've got a check and I've approved it, and then I drop it off usually once a week. One thing the state is requiring is that we keep copies of every single permit in the file for the member, so they are doing a great job of printing off the approvals and getting us those permits that have been applied for so we can put them in the member's lot to make sure that that paperwork was done. So we're getting a much better paper trail now that I've been here 3 years to follow up on some of that stuff. So again, that's Kirk. Jeff, the park president, had another meeting that is going to overrun, but he is going to be here before the end of the meeting. He likes to show up. Jeff is our park president. He likes to show up at everything. He's got his hands. He knows what's going on as the captain of the ship, let's say. Okay, again, contractors. So a lot of people have asked me, oh, I signed up with one of these. Do I need to sign up on this again? Yes. Because of the way our park works, I need a contractor application filled out every year. There is a cost to that. This year's cost is $250. That cost gets you on our list, and we do some other things such as background checks. We like to meet you. We keep all your paperwork done. On the background checks, guys, we do not make copies or have you guys bring us copies. All I need, and this is for people even if you get new employees this year, I need an email that you've done a background check on your people and that it's come back with this error or it's come back as completely clear. All I need is an email sent to me. My business cards are up here as well, and you can send that email to me so I can put it in the file that you've done your background check on your people. All of us members have to do a background check for sex offender and a background check with the state police. We want to make sure that our park is safe for all of our children and our grandchildren and our spouses, and so we're going to follow through with that on every single contractor and all their employees. We need to make sure that that's followed through on. So that's got to be done every year, guys, and again, pay that fee. Also, give us your workman's comp or your liability insurance. The other thing that we're starting to do this year is we're taking that and we're writing down, because I know my company ends in August, so we'll be reaching out to you in August. If you don't get us a new copy of that, your cards could be terminated and you will have to pay a admin fee for your digital card to get into the car, or your park card that gets you into the gates. So make sure that you guys are aware of that. We're trying to write that down and keep track of it to get a hold of you. We don't want any insurance proof to lapse before we go forward. We have to keep our members safe, and we have to keep everybody else safe here. So we are going to require that and make sure that that is up to date at all times for our park. When you pay that fee, technically you're going to be covered from that year all the way till April 1st. We've changed it to April 1st this year. Anybody that pays their fee and fills their paperwork out and gets everything back to us, your cards will automatically just go to the next year. You don't have to pay any fees for your cards or stickers that are in your truck windows or anything. Anybody that does not pay by that time, their cards will be disconnected, and at this point it'll be a $50 per card, per employee card that has to be redone. The reason we're doing that is if you don't sign back up in time and we don't know that you're on the list, it causes a lot of holdups at the gate once the park opens, and now we're waiting, and they have to call me or call the main office, and then they have to wait for a copy of your insurance. So we've gone to April 1st to fill out all your paperwork and get it turned back in. As long as you do that, the benefit to you guys is, other than the $250, your cards and your stickers, everything else is legitimate and good. So anybody that hasn't done that, please, when you leave here, if you can go over there or sometime next week, call up Nicole. She will take a credit card over the phone. It's a lot easier to go in there and just take care of business right at her desk if possible. And I do have extra copies of the application right here for anybody that hasn't signed them. Some people have given them to me up here. And again, we prefer a credit card or check. We will take cash as long as we give you a cash receipt. We want to make sure that everything is documented, but we primarily take checks and credit cards for that. So, any questions on the applications or any of the, when the time frame to turn that in? Any questions on the insurance for anybody or the background checks? Great. Well, thank you very much. Okay, you are looking at 5 to 7 days according to our handbook. Those are business days. We do not consider Saturday because only one of us works in the office on Saturday. We're not fully staffed. We do not consider Saturday and Sunday. So expect your permits to take 5 to 7 days when you're filling them out. Most of you people have already signed a contract with somebody, ordered your materials, and have things in line. Some forget to come into our office, and all of a sudden, because of your lack of doing business properly, you make it our problem and want to say, I need this tomorrow. I'm starting tomorrow. Now, we do understand that sometimes materials are not ready for one job, but they are for another job, so you need to move things around. We understand that. We'll work with you, but we just want to make sure that you're putting your paperwork in quickly. This year, I've been told no overtime. So the first year I was up to 70 hours a week. Last year I did a lot of 60 hours a week. This year it'll be 40 hours a week. So when I hit my hours on Friday, I'm gone, and there's no more overtime right now. So we're trying to get within our budgetary numbers that we've promised the members out here that we're going to do. So please do your due diligence to get paperwork in. I'll be honest with you, most everything is done within 48 to 72 hours, but do not count on that happening. Count on the 5 to 7 days, and everything else is a bonus ahead of time. We are now also doing a job where the members are getting approved for their Sandy Pines permit. You guys should get something from PCI when your permits have been approved. We are taking care of the members. We're going to try to text them or email them that their permit is in their box. The other thing is we are now going online and approving those permits. So if they look in their portal, it's important for you guys to say, hey, can you check your portal? Was your permit approved? And if everything was filled out properly, their portal will say that their permit was approved. That is a sign that once it's approved and in that digital box, that I've put a hard copy outside my office. Again, that's a 24-hour, 7 days a week box. The lower left box will have the new permit cards. One thing that's happening this year, and again, we've had, I've been here, this is my 3rd season now. People felt that we went from the old inspector to this inspector, and we went 100 miles an hour from 0. We are enacting a few more rules every single year. The rule that's going to be enacted right now, and we're working with security on it, and we have Andy back from our security staff that's here almost every day in the back corner, but security is now going to alert us if there's work on a job, as well as my staff is going to alert us if there's work being on a job that does not have a play card or a permit card visible from the road. Those are an immediate $100 fine. That could be the member, depending on who's pulling the permit. It could easily be you guys. Your guys are on those jobs. You need to call us or talk to your member and find out if they have a permit before they go and work on that job. So if there's no card there, you could get in trouble. So please call our office, find out what's going on with that card. We want to make sure that we're bringing our card or our park right up to what the state expects. And the state expects a permit and all them copies to be registered at our office. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So that's one thing that's going to happen this year. Please be aware of that. $100 fine, and there's going to be, I don't like to say it, but there's going to be very little grace on that. We're going to have to do something because so many people have just done what they've wanted to do and put us in disregard for PCI and the state, and it's not fair to do that to either of us or the other members out here. So, okay. So, when you go online, and this is something for you guys to learn, but it's also something for members to learn because a lot of people call our office and say they can't get answers. Everything is online. So, if we go back to the Sandy Pines, you sign in as sandypines.com. And you're going to pull up to our main heading here. When you go down, for what you guys are aware of, go all the way down, and on the very bottom to the left is Park Inspector. If you click on that, everything for the Park Inspector shows up. It shows our office door out there, permit information, contact us, that'll send an email to us. You have your contractor services. that's where you guys can be found. So if you guys ever want to look it up, and you can click on that, it'll show up registered contractor list. That's where we come up with this list. The list will be updated on Monday for some of you new contractors that aren't on there already, but we are going to be updating that on Monday. So there's your contractor list. Also, make sure that the services that you're doing are accurate in there. I would put the one that you make the most money on, or that you want to really push in your park, the first one, but put down your services there so that people can find out exactly what you do. If any of this information is wrong, let us know by email. So inspector@sandypines.com is the best email, because Steve, Cindy, and I look at those emails daily whenever we come into the office, and then we can get paperwork over to Ian and or Nicole and get some of that taken care of. So that's where you're going to find your list. And now I have to go back. So also, when you go down, you'll see the contractor application. If you can't make it into the park and you want to do your application, then you can do that, and your application will show up on there, and you can fill it out. I do have hard copies up here, but you can do that every year. You can get that offline, so you don't have to wait for us. Then right here, 2025, there's your contractor meeting, and there's a little bit of the spring kickoff and some other different stuff that's going on in the park. Go back again. Okay, when you go down, a couple of other things that are on our park inspector is the letter that we're going to be talking about today. Here's a lot of the different information. This is the January 2026 Eagle Structures letter. This is the newest letter from Eagle of what an RV park can do. So, a very, very quick synopsis of Eagle and where they get their authority. This is state of Michigan law. So, when you look at HUD, you have housing structures. They have a separate application or a separate breakout for a pre-built or manufactured housing community. Then they have a separate breakout for mobile home parks. And then they have a separate breakout that says as long as RVs stay within the structure of an RV based on the law, which is 400 square feet in one structure, they then can be handled outside of those other units. Therefore, that's why PCI does not do permits or do anything along with the 400 square foot or the structure. So when you're working in those structures, floor coverings, paint, new cabinets, that can be done. The minute you get into electrical or you get into plumbing or an HVAC like the built-in hot water heaters or the black tanks, those must be a licensed ANSI approved person. That in our park right now is Vacation Land. That's the company that needs to call it. If you guys want to do cabinets or do something inside of that park model, you need to talk to them about plumbing and electrical. That's not allowed for yourself. And PCI will not come in and look at that, and PCI will not come in and do anything with that. But you do need to talk to somebody that's licensed. You can see how close all of our park models are together and our sheds are together. We do not want a fire starting. We do not want any problems with any of the plumbing or any backups. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that legal, and that is what it falls under. So when we go to this letter, this is the newest letter from Eagle, and they had a lot of stakeholder involved for the first time. That meant parks like us, the Michigan Association of Campgrounds, the other parks, building inspectors. Jared was online with us. A lot of people were in these meetings putting their 2 cents forward. We did get a lot of benefits from it. Some of these benefits will not take place in our park until our board can look at our rules. We still have to follow our rules. But one of the biggest things that has changed is at this point, and this goes through their authority under the Michigan Public Code, the definitions. There's a lot of information on this structure letter. It's a lot more detailed than the last one we got. As a matter of fact, not only do they break this down here, they go down into what is considered for your square footage around your 4-foot minimum around your structure, what has to be allowed. It goes into A lot of structure decision trees. What are you asking for? What does it do? Yes, we can do that. No, we can't do that. Now, this right here is Eagle's approval. Some of these conflict with Sandy Pines rules. We're meeting with the board. We're going to try to come in line with this as close as possible, but right now some of our rules will override some of these rules, such as right now, 200 square foot for sheds, but we'll meet with the board based on what Eagle is allowing and see if we can change some of that and meet. But then again, once you go over 200 square foot, you now get into a PCI permit, and you now get into wind uplift and tie downs. So there's going to be some changes coming up yet. We were hoping to get this letter before the first of the year so that we could have met with our board and got some of this done. We got this letter 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So it did not come in a timely fashion that we were hoping for to be able to work on this. So that's why we're a little bit behind the 8 ball. However, one of the things that they did do for us, and this is because in the state of Michigan, a campground is normally 30 by 40 feet. If you go to the state parks, I think you barely have that, but you normally have 1,200 square feet. Ours pretty much, whether they're pie-shaped or not, start out at 40 by 80, which is 3,200 square feet. It's a lot larger. So it was a 400 square foot structure. They're now allowing decks to be as large as we want, as long as they meet PCI's requirements, and PCI will approve that size of a deck without going into a frost footing or a footing of any type. The most you can do is either the 4-inch cookie or the cement pillars and put your support posts on there. You still have to meet all the other structural loads. You still have to do like a 2x8 for a 10-foot span, 16 on center for composite, 24 inches for structural wood. There's still other things that have to be met, but you cannot go into the ground. This is an RV park. It's a temporary status structure. So everything has to stay above the ground. That means at this point, we're not burying anything. If you're going to be doing fences out here, we will then be using augers, such as they make at, I know Menards has them, a 39 or 29-inch auger that can screw into the ground and the 4x4 goes into it, or the pound-in fence posts. But no digging 4x4s in and putting concrete around them. That's considered permanent, so that can't be done. So those are some of the things. Again, look at this letter and understand what's allowed. They do allow on here larger gazebos than we offer when you look at it. They do allow up to 400 square foot on screen rooms. However, you cannot be longer than the box of the trailer. That may limit you to 30 to 32 feet for the porch people or for the deck people. Decks can go all the way around now, but no other structure can be built in the front of or in the back of the trailer. You can only come off the sides. You cannot alter a trailer once it shows up. You can put in windows and you can replace the exact window opening, but you cannot change a structural beam in there or open it up or change a window to a door. So there's a lot of things. If you have any questions, call our office. Don't just put the application in or don't just do the work. So, okay. And I see our guest of honor has arrived. So, everyone, this is Jeff Sweitzer, the park president. He's going to grab some food, and but like I said, he shows up to everything. He's the captain of the ship. It's an amazing job what he does and what his fingers are dabbled into and what he keeps. But he is a great guy. So if you or a member, and that brings me to the next question, if you or a member do not like a decision that I make or that our building department makes, anybody can go to Jeff Schweitzer's office. He has an open door policy and can talk to him. 9 times out of 10, I've already told him about a situation and I've already talked to him. We talk quite often, almost daily, and he knows about it, but you can talk to him if you want and see what's going on. And then if not that, then there's other ways you can go about it. But right now, that would be the thing. Come to us. We should be working with you. That's our goal. But if not, then you can go to Jeff's office and talk to Jeff. He's over in the admin office, and it's an open door policy for him. Okay, so how the park and PCI are looking at this letter. Again, I explained very quickly how we fall under the HUD as an RV park and what we have to meet. And we were told that there's a hierarchy of who has to do that. Our park is responsible because we own the entire park. So you have a membership, or our members have a membership out here. They don't own the property. There's no deeded property. So when they come back to us, they're going to come back and talk to us about a violation. They're not going to talk to the member, and unless we have a complaint, they're not going to talk to the contractor. But everything outside of that park model has to meet residential building code. That's what they put in their paperwork. That's why we're partnering with PCI so closely on what meets residential building code. One of the other things that we've adjusted this year, and that is on the website as of today, is almost everything is done digitally in our files for our members and in their portal. So we are taking pictures of before and after and putting it in the portal, and we're sending those emails or texts out to let them know they've been approved for a permit. We're also doing it when we go back. So yes, we do go out before a job is done, and yes, we do go out after the job is done and make sure it's done legally, because we have to answer to the state. We're taking copies of the permits that you fill out for us, and we're taking copies of the permits that PCI has. Most of you know that when you fill a permit out for PCI, there's a specific thing on the back of it called a homeowner's affidavit, that you, the homeowner, are there or are supervising the work. You can have your brother-in-law, you can have somebody else there doing it, but you are doing the work. We're having some issues where people were saying, and some of the contractors that maybe weren't properly licensed were trying to get the homeowner to pull the permit for themselves, and then they were then using the contractor to do the work and slipping through the cracks. So on the back of our zoning paperwork now, our permit application for Sandy Pines is a homeowner's affidavit that they have to sign that they are truly the ones doing the work on there. We're doing that, again, just to keep the park as clean as possible and to straighten up any type of activity. We're finding that most of the activity that was done that was not to within code of what Eagle allowed was done under those circumstances. So we're trying to cut that off before those circumstances continue and affect many, many members out here. The last thing we want is them not to give us our RV license come April 15th so we can't open. So, and that's not even a thing that could happen right now, because we've been able to work with the state and pull that back in and get back under control. So that's gone a lot better. You also can go online. I did not print it because we've been spending a ton of money on print and on paper. You can also go online and get our rule book. I would highly recommend, whatever line of work you're doing, you look at our rule book and you take that. Again, like I mentioned with the contractors that want to do leaf cleanup and power washing, apply or advertise as much as you can in the April and May, because that has to be done by June 10th. So that's when you're going to get the majority of your people, and quite possibly the leaf cleanup, you'll get it in the fall. This year, again, we are allowing the leaf cleanup, and those are the only people that are allowed to dump in our dump because of the extreme costs in our dump. You can go buy a $500 dump ticket from the security guards or from the admin office, and then you will be allowed to dump in here. A lot of people have said, hey, we're just cleaning up some of your members. They can grab those leaves and dump over to the dump. The problem is a couple of bad players have made it bad for all of us, and they've been bringing leaves and stuff from outside the park and dumping it. Nobody here has washers and dryers, but somehow washers and dryers almost every year end up over by our dump to get thrown away. Those are people that are bringing stuff from their house, not from the park. We're only allowing park-related stuff to be dumped. All contractors must remove the contractor debris. If you're tearing down a deck, if you're tearing down anything else, those must be removed from the park. There's not an allowable situation to drop them in our park. That's part of your job cost to the member. You need to figure out where to dump that or take it out. You can, if you have a huge job, you can bring a dumpster in. Please talk to us and security about that dumpster coming in and where it's going to be set on the lot, and we're limiting how long those can be set here. So we don't want a dumpster here all summer long. This is a campground. People are trying to enjoy it out here. We want to make sure that we're keeping our park as clean and operable as possible. Brings me back to anybody that's used to working with PCI and they get a 6-month permit. Our permits are 60 days. Every permit ends at the end of the season. So anybody that wants to work off a permit for last year of a required permit process has to get a new permit this year, and those last for 60 days. We've had people in the past that are what's called perpetual builders, And the two problems that we've run into is their neighbors have to look at a project that takes from April 15th to October 15th. Those neighbors come out on the weekends. They don't want to look at that. So again, plan your project, pull your permit in a timely fashion that it's going to take that 60 days or less. Beyond that requires another permit, and it will be looked at very closely if you're going to pull another permit about why you're extending it. At that point, we're going to need to see. There's going to be another fee, but we need to see, was it because of materials? Was it because just you didn't figure out how long it was going to take? The other problem is in our cleanup, we have for the June 10th cleanup, we have an exemption there. They say, well, I'm in the middle of a construction project. I'll look at the construction project. We've had people that have had, and they've gotten free patio stones or very inexpensive patio stones from all over the park for 2 years from somebody else's lot. They're stacked up next to their shed, and it's causing some difficulty there, but their new project is a front landing that doesn't involve patio stones, it's just wood. And they say, well, you can't find me for my lot being a mess because I'm in the middle of a construction project. So we look at that very closely. So we don't want these things to be perpetual. We're trying to clean our park up and make it nice, which adds the value to every member's lot out here when we can keep it that clean. Okay, again, I've talked about the contractor paperwork and the permits. I've told you about where you can go online and you can just Google Sandy Pines Rule Book and you can pull up the whole rule book. You can pull up the area that is involved in building. You can pull up the area that's involved in cleaning. If you have difficulty or a member that's watching this has difficulty getting these instructions, we can work with them and follow through, but we're trying to make sure that everything is available online to make it very easy for people to work with. At this point, again, I don't want to take you guys away and make it too difficult. Anyone that has to leave is more than welcome to leave and contact our park, but is there any type of questions or anything that might be available that you want to ask for the crowd, or you can save a personal one or one on a specific job to me after the fact? Anything right now that anyone would like to ask? Wow. My speech answered every question. That's amazing. So my boss is going to give me a good review on this one. So, okay. Well, if that's it, again, we have anybody who hasn't signed up, we have the paperwork up here. You still are going to have to send us your workman's comp or anything. If you let us know what your insurance company is, I have reached out to insurance companies before and just they've given me an update if I've got somebody that's been lagging. But again, we're trying to do a little less work and try to make sure that you're doing your job out here. If anybody has questions for PCI, they're going to be here for just a little bit longer too. But right now, if you have any questions that you feel you want to offer up, that's fine. Otherwise, you're free to go. Thank you very much for showing up. We are going to do another end of the year season to see how it went this year and to see questions. Last year, that meeting was very good. We had a couple of people ask about staying in the park longer. We had the tree guys and the leaf guys ask about being able to stay in our park longer, and we worked with those guys, and I think we got all those issues solved. And our goal is to work with you as close as we can to take care of our members. They're our customers, they're your customers. The best thing we can possibly do is work together and try to get things solved right up front and make sure that we're doing the right thing within the state laws and within PCI's rules and our own park rules. So be aware, I will send, when we get our rule book updated, I'm not going to send you guys all copies, but I'll let you know that our rule book was updated. Even though we're meeting in April or trying to meet in April for our rule book changes, that could be kicked to the June meeting or the July meeting. So what we want to do is we want to make sure when we make these changes within the state's rules and laws that we're doing it once and we're doing it right. So we may have to take an extra 30, 60, 90 days to make sure that it works for our park and that our members had to have input into those changes. So it's not going to happen quickly, but it is going to be done hopefully once and for all, and we won't have to keep making changes. So thank you very much for showing up. Appreciate it.